All right, kids. Are you getting up there now? All right, kids. The good book says, he who states his case first seems right until his rival comes and cross-examines him. And so far, in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2024, he who stated his case first and seems right is comedian Katt Williams. Now, the likes of Ludacris, Tiffany Haddish, Cedric the Entertainer, and Kevin Hart have responded to him already one way or another. But there's someone else who isn't a rival yet that tried to cross-examine Katt, and we have to talk about him.
He didn't say anything about any of these white boys. And none of these white boys function like that. And Katt is one of the best painters in the game. Hurt people, but I am a hurt person that never hurt people. And he does it all the time. Katt was talking about that did to other but not about anything that did to him.
Dave Chappelle, stand-up comic who many, including maybe himself, would consider the GOAT of comedians. Chappelle appeared on stage just last week at the San Jose Improv with D. Ray Davis and Dion Cole. You may have heard Dave say, amongst other things, Katt is one of the best painters in the game, so why are you drawing ugly pictures of us, referring to fellow black comedians? So, what you're about to witness is a few of the conclusions that Dave has drawn himself, because, as you're about to see, Dave Chappelle must not have seen the pictures he's painted, and he needs to cross-examine himself. Okay, later on in that clip I showed earlier, Dave said, I didn't hear anything that you did wrong. He didn't do nothing wrong. Katt didn't do nothing wrong. Katt was talking about stuff that other brothers did to other brothers, but not anything about what brothers did to him. And you know what? Chappelle is right. In that Club Shay Shay interview that Katt had with Shannon Sharpe, not only did Katt not say very much about what others did to him, but we didn't really hear about what Katt has done to others. With that said, what I want to focus on is when Chappelle asked last week, what part of the game messes up another brother's paper? What part of the game is about telling on another brother? All of us are trying to be in a better situation. And how Dave Chappelle can manage to not apply this to, for example, black actors wearing dresses or the trans community is beyond me.
Why are they putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. That comes back 10 minutes later. The whole new scene. Damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
Based on what we currently know about Dave Chappelle and his career since this interview he did with Oprah in 2006,
Get away from Oprah!
I hope he has a better understanding of what it takes to be in a better situation. Like when black actors dress in drag with, I think, Howard Stern to get a laugh early in their careers. And if someone were to say, well, Dave isn't wearing a dress there. Well, you're right, but also wrong. He wore a dress in Robin Hood Men in Tights. And before I continue, the idea of gendered clothing is weird, inconsistent, and unnecessary. If you look at the history and origin of where and when makeup, jewelry, nail polish, high heels, and so on come from, it's a bunch of stuff made by and for men, usually to signal status. I've talked about it before. A dress or skirts for women in one culture is something light and flowy for men to wear in another. As for the Hollywood executives try to put black men in dresses in order to humiliate and emasculate us thing, well, those same execs evidently love to put white men in dresses too. And while execs could want to emasculate both black men and themselves, I guess, something doesn't add up.
The reason why I don't believe that it's about emasculating black men is because white supremacy has no investment in emasculating black men. It has an investment in making black women more masculine, but you have to look and break down the ways in which we portray black men in media. If you are a black man, you are either a threat or an idiot. You're either hyper-masculine and dangerous, or you're stupid and lazy.
FD Signifier also has a video here on YouTube about Dave Chappelle and this topic. I'll leave links to this content in the description below. Dave Chappelle has spent the better part of 3 stand-up specials talking about trans people, not punching down, according to him, including, most recently, The Dreamer. To put these things as basic and as loosely as possible, perhaps it's because he feels like society at large has shielded the trans community from being subject to comedy and jokes. In addition to Chappelle rejecting the idea of being canceled, which isn't a thing, due to the art form of stand-up. However, it's this art form that gives us at least 3 examples of why we know that cancel culture isn't a thing. 1, Kevin Hart said in 2021 that he's been canceled 3 or 4 times, which tells me that you can come back from being canceled. So what's the problem? People are just mad at you? You could lose your job or opportunity? So accountability? 2, Dave Chappelle continues to make millions upon millions of dollars, selling out shows after shows, getting special after special on Netflix, even after public backlash to The Closer. If anything, this idea that comics should be able to say whatever they want on one extreme is countered by, yeah, and so should their viewers and listeners on the other. Telling a joke the audience doesn't like, they get to tell you about yourself. Who needs thicker skin, comedians or the rest of us? And 3, Dave Chappelle specifically can't be canceled. And he would know. He tried to cancel himself after, to put it the way David Dennis Jr. described it, Dave Chappelle left Comedy Central when he felt he was creatively compromised. Dave making white people laugh at jokes he was making about black people made him feel a certain kind of way. That and the pressure which came along with Comedy Central's $50 million contract led to him ultimately leaving the game. Then he came back, of course, and made more money. Oh, in Unforgiven, another one of Dave Chappelle's specials, he describes how despite the fact that he wasn't getting paid for it, Netflix was streaming Chappelle's show. Dave, as he should have, asked Comedy Central to pay him what he's owed and asked his audience to essentially boycott Netflix. And it worked. He got his money. And this is the man that can't stop making trans jokes or just newer or better ones. So really I'm not asking comedians to stop telling trans jokes. I'm asking them to stop telling the same trans joke over and over, like Parker Malloy said. By the way, with his claims of being silenced or censored and his Team Turf take and material about pronouns that could have easily come out of the mouth of Senator Ted Cruz and were stolen by Roseanne, you would think that Dave Chappelle is a right-winger. I'm not saying he is, but conservatives might think he's one of them. Here he is meeting Representatives Anna Paulina Luna and Lauren Boebert, who said, "Thank you for all you do," and just 3 people who understand that there's only 2 genders, to and about him, respectively. This took place while Dave was visiting Capitol Hill in his hometown of Washington, D.C., on his way to a sold-out show of his. Hey, Dave is still funny enough to turn that situation into comedy. Apparently, he said, the Congresswoman tricked him and, quote, "I had 2 tickets to Beetlejuice and I was going to give her one." Talking about Bobo. If you know, you know. And I gotta admit, in The Closer when Chappelle said, "Careful, Dave, they after you," and he was like, "one they or many theys," that was hilarious. So was this interaction that Dave had with Katt at the Def Jam 25 celebration a few years ago, which should have served as a forewarning for Dave, Cedric, and Steve Harvey.
It's good to see so many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams gonna show up?
Yes! Yes!
Oh, he's right there. There he is. I didn't know he was right there. Nigga, I would not have said that if I had seen it right there.
Yeah!
Not used to quiet, introspective Katt Williams.
No.
And I mean, look, fans dug up evidence showing that Dave Chappelle wasn't happy with Key and Peele for biting Chappelle's show, all while he called out Katt Williams for dissing Cedric the Entertainer over a stolen joke. So, was Dave telling on another brother? Weren't Key and Peele trying to be in a better place when Dave said they were pretty much just doing his show? I've mentioned Dave Chappelle here on this channel probably more than any other entertainer or celebrity. I reference his work on a video that I made about the perfect joke about racism, another one about black nerds, and again when analyzing Hassan Minhaj's work. And this is due to Dave Chappelle being one of the best painters in the game. However, seems like he doesn't know that he's drawing ugly self-portraits, but we gonna be all right.
I'm tired of the rhetoric of, oh, you sell out in Hollywood because you wore a dress. Negro, I wore a dress. It's called White Chicks. You know what we did? We did a classic. Only black people sit there and go, man, our brothers wearing dresses. Oh, so white people, when they wear dresses, when Robin Williams wears a dress in Mrs. Doubtfire, he's brilliant. When Tom Hanks wears a dress in Bosom Buddies, oh, he's brilliant, right? Mm-hmm. When Dustin Hoffman wears a dress in Tootsie, yes, he wins an Oscar. Mm-hmm. Black people As soon as we put on a dress, we start tearing each other down. This is art and this is comedy.